Go right over here, refresh.
Refresh. Call to order. Let's pledge the allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. Roll call.
Good evening. Commissioner Jacobs,
Here.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kasham,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins,
Here.
Vice Mayor Morset,
Here.
and Mayor Mohammed is excused absence. We have quorum.
Is this discussed?
Deletions and withdrawals to the agenda. There's a couple of things.
9.1.
8.1, we're pulling that. 9.1. And
8.1.
Yeah, he just,
Point
Yeah,
one,
he referenced 8.1, 8.1, 9.1.
8.1, we're pulling
He
that.
said 8.1.
Okay.
And 9.1, and then we are pulling, no, we're moving 14.1 up.
No, I'm
No, we
sorry.
moved, that one we're deleting, and then Mark is doing the holiday party. You have some information on that?
I'm sorry.
Can we move 14.3, the town clerk position, can we move that up to,
We don't need to move anything. We can just go through the agenda as it's written.
8.3? No, it's just that some people need to leave.
You can make it quick going through the agenda. That's only a couple items down. Moving things around draws the meetings out and makes them even longer. Just get through the meeting.
Okay, I agree with that. All right. I have public related,
Done this a few times.
do we have any public comments? Anybody wrote?
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Just to verify, so we are deleting 8.1, 9.1,
Yeah, I said that.
13.1, and 14.5.
Make a motion.
Can I have a motion for that?
Make a motion.
second.
Motion to approve?
Roll call.
Roll call.
I'm sorry, who seconded it? Oh. Motion made by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kasham?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
And Vice Mayor Morset.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Is there any public comments related to the agenda items? Nobody? Okay. 7.1,
Make a motion to improve the consent agenda. This whole 7 section.
Second.
Roll call.
One moment, I'm sorry. Motion
Charlie, you
made.
got to write faster.
I see that. Motion made by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Acting Clerk Commissioner Kasham.
No, it was
No.
actually, I
Nope.
seconded.
Oh, I apologize. Acting Clerk Commissioner Kasham,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morset,
yes.
Commissioner Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion passes.
9.2.
No, 7.1.
No, 9.2, that's the consent agenda. Everything under 7's under the consent agenda. The next item is 9.2.
That's canceled. Well, Town Manager Lynch, contracts.
May I, Mr. Vice Mayor, just for the record, item 9.2 is Resolution 2024-025.
I did it.
It's a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, pursuant to Section 2-92 of the Town's Code of Ordinances, ratifying the appointment of David Lynch as the Town Manager, providing for conflicts, severability, and providing for an effective date. Very briefly, Mr. Vice Mayor and Commission, as the Commission's aware, at your last regular meeting, you approved an employment agreement for Mr. Lynch as the next Town Manager. Subsequent to the approval of that item, I realized, and I will, offer that this is the first time we've hired a town manager during our tenure, and I was not aware that it requires a resolution under the town code. So this is the resolution that the code would require to ratify the appointment of Mr. Lynch. There's been one change to his agreement, again, unbeknownst to Mr. Lynch, and I believe the HR folks and myself. At some point over the years, the town had approved a life insurance policy for all members of the town commission, as well as certain department directors, including your town manager. The initial contract provided to Mr. Lynch was inconsistent with the town's prior approvals for your town manager. The item before you this evening contains an amendment to Mr. Lynch's contract to bring him in line with the prior action of the town as it relates to life insurance. With the exception of that change, the agreement has not changed since the one that was last approved by the commission at your last meeting.
So is the change so big that we had to vote on it?
It would require the approval of the resolution, and again, to hire a town manager under the code, it requires a resolution. So this is simply ratification of your prior action to confirm Mr. Lynch as the town manager and approve his employment agreement.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-025.
I second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morset?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashem?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Um,
Item 10.1, Mr. Vice Mayor,
Will you read the
10.1.
ordinance?
if I may.
One?
For the record, Mr. Vice Mayor, this is a second reading ordinance. It's an ordinance of the town of Pembroke Park, Florida, amending 13.5 entitled Land Development, amending Article 4 entitled Land Use Requirement Implementation by creating Section 13.5-43 to be entitled Zoning in Progress, establishing an administrative and legislative procedure whereby the town may place a temporary hold on the issuance of development permits and approvals, providing for applicability, providing for zoning in progress procedures, providing for town commission review, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, severability, and providing for an effective date. And again, Mr. Vice Mayor, this is second reading. There have been no changes to the ordinance between first and second reading.
All right, we can move on to,
Motion.
And if I may, before vote, this is a public hearing, Mr. Vice Mayor. I would just ask that you open it up to a public hearing.
okay, can I have a motion?
No, you need to open up for public comment.
Is there any public comment?
Any public comments? Okay, we close that. Sorry, no, I'm just,
Motion, no.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number
no,
2020.
I'm just reading. Let me
I'll second.
roll call.
Motion made by Clerk Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Correction, Commissioner Jacobs.
Commissioner Jacobs.
Thank you.
My apologies. Vice Mayor Morset?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashem?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Motion passes.
We have a first reading here, 11.1.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Thank you. For the record, ordinance 2024-011 is an ordinance of the town of Pembroke Park, Florida, amending Chapter 22 of the town's Code of Ordinances entitled Streets, Sidewalks, and Other Public Places, creating Article 3 to be entitled Motorized Scooters, Coasters, Skateboards, and Other Similar Wheeled Devices, providing for definitions, requiring registration of certain motorized scooters, providing for penalties, providing for conflicts, severability, providing for inclusion of the code, and providing for an effective date. I know this item is attributed to the mayor, who's not in the attendance this evening, Mr. Vice Mayor. This item was presented by the mayor at your commission workshop. You may recall she presented a model ordinance from the town of Sunny Isles Beach in Miami-Dade County. The commission had asked us to essentially reformat and frame that ordinance for the town. This is the Sunny Isles ordinance, which we have reviewed for legal sufficiency and reworked and incorporated into the town code. There have been no substantive changes from the item that you saw at the workshop.
Okay, do we need to vote on this change?
This would be first reading, so yes, you would need a vote to pass the item on first reading.
Discussion.
Discussion?
I believe this is government overreach. You're requiring residents and non-residents to register motorized scooters and things that aren't required to be registered by the state. Why should the town of Pembroke Park be requiring to register little electric scooters and stuff and such? I think it is too much. We're going way too far It's legitimate for them to use them as transportation already as it is. We don't need an ordinance on top of it. This is just another item that's being put on the agenda just for a conversation to get someone to get something on here. There's no need for this. This is, again, I believe, government overreach to put something like this in order.
I kind of agree with that. I'm actually an owner of one of those scooters, and I like to drive it back and forth to work at times, but I don't want to have to get into some kind of process where I have to register it. Next thing you know, they'll want me to put insurance on it. And we're insurance poor in this state, so I don't want to go there.
Chief, do you have any, would you like to comment on it? Because it would be you that police it.
Chief, are there already state statutes in place that cover this stuff?
I think Commissioner Jacobs hit it on the nail.
Yeah, there are statutes and stuff like this. I think this is regulating the scooters that are all over town because they are everywhere. Some people are driving them crazy. A lot of them are getting stolen. And by registering, I think that the mayor's intent was to try and curb some of that activity there regarding the thefts and stuff. And
Again, that costs people money, and a lot of people that are riding scooters to commute to work don't have money, or skateboards or bicycles. It's again, government overreach, reaching into residents and citizens' pockets when it doesn't need to.
You already have other laws that would regulate that behavior, right?
we regulate the bad driving behavior on there, yes. They don't have to have a driver's license to drive when they're electric, or, you know, it depends
They
on
still
how.
have to follow the
how they're,
code.
how they're
highway code.
just similar to a bicycle, basically. It's the same code as a bicycle.
So we don't need new regulations for policing it.
That's up to you all.
But the crazy
Yeah, I'm
driving
asking the
is
expert.
not safe for our residents either, right?
Pardon me?
The crazy driving is not safe for our residents.
But there's state statutes that cover that. We don't need an ordinance
But
for
most of
people
the
to
people, it's
register.
not
their-
even our residents who are driving. It's like outsider, like a different city.
So you're telling someone from the city of Miramar that's going to ride their scooter down to the
I know, but I am care about
register
my
in the town of
residents.
Pembroke Park just to travel through the town of Pembroke Park. That's what you're saying here, because that's what this reads.
I want to put a toll up.
But if the behavior,
That's the same thing.
May I ask our town attorney, is it legal for us to make special regulations regarding vehicles?
Well, the short answer is yes. So long as the topic you're regulating is not preempted under state law, and there are quite a few areas we know that are preempted. Vacation rentals, to a large extent, we know are preempted. Firearm regulations are preempted, but the regulation of scooters, that the town does have some flexibility with regards to registration, and the ordinance that's before you this evening is consistent with state law. So it is entirely within your purview to adopt certain regulations, but again, the regulations are ultimately a matter of policy for the commission.
Okay, but we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Let's use whatever's in place now. Is anybody in agreement with? Let's use what's in place now. And
There's no reason for this ordinance to be in
yeah,
place.
I don't see any reason for
Is
It's
there-
government overreach.
Is there any regulation in our parks so they can't drive in parks? I believe you're not allowed to use your bicycles in parks, so we already have regulations that could protect people, right? Okay.
Are we going to regulate people walking down the sidewalks through our town and have to make them register? I mean, like Kachian said, we should have a toll booth when people come through town and charge them a toll just to walk through the streets.
All right, let's,
I mean, where do we draw the line and say this is too much?
Yeah, I think we draw it right here and
Much.
get rid of this.
okay, let's have a motion on this so we can take a quick vote.
I'll make a motion to drop this. And
Yeah,
It's an,
yeah. You wouldn't make a motion in the negative. If there was a motion to approve, the motion can be voted down.
Well, let
If
it
there was no motion, then the item would die on its own volition. There'd
Don't
be no
die by
action.
itself. Okay,
Let it
let's
die
move
itself.
on to other business then.
you got to ask if there's a motion.
Is there, I did that. Is there a motion? Nope.
Motion, it dies.
Okay.
It dies. New business.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, excuse me, Commission, for the record, item 12.1 is Resolution 2024-027. This item is a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, imposing a temporary moratorium on the processing, approval, or issuance of building permits, engineering permits, utility permits, or development orders for any self-storage uses within the town, authorizing and directing the town manager or the town manager's designee to undertake a study and review of the town's regulations regarding the same, providing that upon adoption of this resolution, no processing, approval, or issuance of building permits, engineering permits, utility permits, or development orders for any self-storage uses shall be issued within the affected areas during the time period covered by the resolution, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. Just Vice Mayor and Commission, just very briefly, you may recall over our last few meetings, we've been talking about zoning in progress and moratoria, the ability to put a pause on the issuance and consideration of certain development approvals. Item 10.1 was the second reading of the ordinance establishing procedures for a zoning in progress process for the town. This item is the implementation of a moratorium on self-storage uses. This is actually the substantive item that will put a pause on the acceptance and processing of all self-storage uses for a 6-month period to give your town manager and professional staff an opportunity to review those uses within the town.
Sorry?
I'll make a motion to approve 12.1.
We need is there any public comments?
Oh.
Nope. Okay.
Motion to approve resolution
Motion.
number 2024-027.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve resolution 2024-027.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kasham?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morissette?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, and that will be you again, Mr. Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. For the record, item 12.2 is a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, pursuant to Section 2-302 of the Town's Code of Ordinances, appointing Daniel DeCoursey as the town's police chief, approving and authorizing the execution of the employment agreement attached to his Exhibit A and incorporated herein, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. And again, for the record, Mr. Vice Mayor and Commission, your town code requires a resolution for the hiring of a police chief. So this item will be will effectuate that engagement of Mr. DeCoursey. The agreement is consistent with the version that you saw at your commission workshop. The item is before you for consideration.
Motion to approve the police chief draft agreement.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Commissioner Hodgkins, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Acting Clerk Commissioner Kasham?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morissette?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Motion passes.
12.3, holiday lighting. That will be our Deputy Town Manager, Mr. Williamson.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Commission. This is just our standard appointment and agreement that we have with the company for holiday lighting. This is typically comes before the commission every year for holiday lighting approval of this contract for the installation of lights. We own all of the installation equipment, but they warehouse it for us throughout the year, and then they bring it back to the town and install it for us. So this is just preparing our town for the holiday season.
Mr. Williams, can you please ensure that these lights get put up in a timely manner this year and not put up a couple days before Christmas like they have the last couple years?
Will do.
Thank you. Motion to approve. Wait, hold on. I got to get back to it.
12.3. 12.3.
Hold on. 12.3 holiday lighting.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Motion made.
Yeah.
Motion made by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morissette?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kasham?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. 13, any old business?
Nothing.
Open, close? All right. Any discussions? We deleted 14.1, so we go to 14.2, holiday party. That would be Mark. And Mark also have something, was it radios?
It's on the consent agenda. Good evening, Vice.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and Commissioners. Mark Pakula, IT Director. For your consideration, the the holiday party for December 6th. You have 3 restaurants there. We've been to Gigi's. That seems to be the odds-on favorite, but of course, that's up to the commissioners. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Any questions? Okay, can I have a motion to approve it?
I make a
Are you
motion.
picking a location?
Gigi?
Gigi's on the waterfront.
I've never been there, so I'll leave it up to someone else to
Motion to approve.
chime in. You
I'm
said,
asking for a
Motion to approve for
it.
Gigi's.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Vice Mayor Morset,
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs,
Yes.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashem,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
One comment, Assistant Manager, use someone else's credit card. I don't have one in my name. Thank you.
Any other questions? I would just ask commissioners, get with Christine for anybody you might be bringing and any VIPs you want to invite, please.
How much was it per person? If you
$72, but that's based on 75 people. We'll probably have a little less, so that number will drop for the amount of people that don't go.
No, but if, if I'm bringing my wife, how much?
It's 72 right now per person.
Okay.
We'll know 4 days before the event what the final number will be, and I can let finance know and everybody, so you can get locked in if you want to pay for your significant other.
Thank you, Mr. Pakula.
Thanks.
Right. 14.3, Town Manager Lynch.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I believe that Cynthia Garcia Lima is here. There's been a discussion between members of this august body with her that we're interested in the review process. And by the way, thanks to all of you in participating in the interview process related to her. She brings a couple of things to the table, which I think are important. Currently, she serves as a deputy clerk in a municipality in the area. In addition to that, she's got another job that she had prior to that in which she was responsible for public records requests. Now, we realize that that clerk position, it's a federally mandated law that we comply with public records requests in a timely fashion and that we're responsible in that regard. She brings both of those abilities, and after the opportunity I've had to interview with her, she rises right to the top of the list. The deputy town manager, Mr. Williamson, participated in a vetting of a number of resumes, and this was the one that he identified. I do want to say this to the commission. You as members of the commission, I'd really like you to be in on the ground floor of the hiring process. I've expressed that to different members of this body before, and so you will be noting that I'm going to be making an effort going forward as I have the opportunity to make sure you are on the ground floor. That's no reason to bypass the opportunity to hire this young lady right now, but you got a pledge from me that all of you from the beginning will be part of the process. You can identify, instead of having the name presented to you in a way that you haven't had an opportunity to evaluate other people on the list if you would so choose. Having made that pledge, this is one we don't want to get away. So I'd ask that you take the opportunity to pass this matter this evening.
I'll make a motion to approve Ms. Cynthia Garcia Lima as the town clerk.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Motion made by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by
Miss
Clerk
or Mrs.?
Commissioner Hodgkins.
Miss?
Commissioner Jacobs?
Yes.
Yes. Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashem?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes.
And Vice Mayor Morset.
Yes.
Motion passes.
You want to come up and say, just say hello? May I present Cynthia Garcia Lima for you? It's our new town manager.
Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity that you're giving me. I hope that I can exceed your expectations. And Commissioner Jacobs and Kashem, I know I didn't have the opportunity to meet you, but I hope to meet you in the near future and sit down and hear your expectations as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. Director Daverman, you have 14.4 Audit Committee appointment.
Good evening, Vice Mayor, and good evening, Commission members. Our contract with the last auditing firm that handled the last audit for Pembroke Park, S. Davis and Associates, has expired. And so we are going to be spinning up a new RFP process. And as one of the requirements necessary in order to get that started is to put together a 3-person committee, including 1 member of the commission and 2 finance professionals, preferably with budget experience in other towns and neighboring towns. Mayor Mohammed has graciously accepted a role on that committee, I'm sorry. And we've extended offers and received commitments from Christine Cajuste in Tamarick, the budget director in Tamarick, and David Delina, the budget director in Highland Beach, whom many of you already know. We will have the documents for the RFP ready to be distributed within the next couple of days. We'll send soft copies as pre-reads to members of the commission and members of the committee as well. And we will be taking bids we'll be taking competitive bids from firms, and we will use the committee in order to make a selection once all of the bids have been received.
Can you make sure this happens in a timely manner, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Are there any questions?
Nope, we're good.
Mr. Chairman, could I have the floor for a moment? As relates to this, Finance Director Daverman has identified particular names, so I'm going to specifically identify a motion and ask one of you move for the passage of that motion, a second, and pass it. And the reason for that is there's some elements to it I want to make sure are contained in the motion. So the motion I'm going to ask you to pass is that you pass a motion to approve and appoint the audit committee consisting of the mayor, Mr. Delina, and Ms. Cajuste, as identified by Mr. Daverman, but also with a proviso that there be a commission alternate. If the mayor isn't here tonight and she has agreed to serve as the chairperson, but if for some reason she declines or is unable to participate, I want the process to keep on moving. So if you would contain in that motion that there be an alternate in the person of the vice mayor. You may get drafted into this depending what the mayor wants to do, Mr. Vice Mayor. But if you could contain that in the motion as well, so that we are absolutely covered and keep the process going. And if you could have that motion move forward with passage this evening, we
I'll make a motion.
appreciate it.
Duly stated on behalf of the town manager, because that's too much to repeat the whole thing.
I'll second.
And you put me on the hook, all right?
Yep.
You got it.
That's what friends are
What's
for.
the title? You're on the hook.
If I may, I'll also be available, serving as in an advisory capacity to help out the committee with anything as it comes up. So I will also serve as a point of contact between the commission and then the town and the auditing firm. So just wanted to make that known to you all beforehand.
Call the roll.
Thank you.
All right, well, we have to vote on this. Roll call.
Motion made by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. Acting Clerk Commissioner Kasham,
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Morset,
Yes.
Commissioner Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion passes.
S. Jacobs.
Thank you all.
I don't know. Okay, 14.5 is canceled. Attorney's report, please.
Just very quickly, Vice Mayor, Commission, as we know, we had an election yesterday. There were 2 ballot referenda for the town on the ballots. Both items passed overwhelmingly. One is to delineate the town's charter officers and to codify that in the charter. The other is to provide for the appointment of the mayor and other positions on the commission every 2 years. We're going to work with your clerk's office to get those provisions codified in an updated version of the charter, and we'll work with your professional staff to provide for the implementation of those provisions. But that's all I have this evening, Mr. Vice Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Town manager's report.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the commission, thank you so much for your participation in the health fair. It was outstanding. You'll be getting another one of your famous Friday letters from me on Friday, but we continue to move things along over in the town hall building, and please know that my door is always open. I have nothing further to report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioners' reports, Commissioner Jacobs,
None.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashim,
No.
Mr. Hodgkins.
No.
I would just take the opportunity to thank particularly all our new employees that have done a fantastic job, and that will include Mr. Williamson and Mr. Lynch and Manny. I know you by first name, I'm sorry. And also James has done a fantastic job. Welcome on board. And that's what I have. We have some announcements. 18.1, Planning and Zoning meeting is Thursday, November 7, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. Special magistrate hearing Wednesday, November 20th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Workshop commission meeting Monday, December 2nd, 2024 at 7 p.m. 7? Okay. Regular commission meeting Wednesday, December 11th, 2024 at 7 p.m. Calendar events, Thanksgiving giveaway, Monday the 25th, and that is from 4 to 8 p.m. Toy giveaway is when? Same day? Okay, we don't have a date for toy giveaway. To be determined. Thank you very much. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Gentlemen,
Aye.
meeting adjourned.